I just do it myself. So I look like I don't care to be silly. I kind of enjoy it sometimes.
Can't be serious all the time.
I don't even like it. I think it's on right now. So heads up. I'll make sure. See if it pops up on here. And boom, there we go. We got sound. We're good to go. Hey, it's 6 o'clock Monday night. We got another special guest here for y'all. I want y'all to always remember this is not easy. I don't care. The people that showed up and thought, man, it's easy. All it is a computer screen. Listen, they learned real quick. So our sister's been nervous, but I told her the hard part's over with. They're here. They've showed up. And they didn't show up for themselves. They didn't show up to brag on themselves and say, look at me. What they're here to do is to reach that one out there. So if you're out there struggling, if people's told you for years that you can't do nothing, you'll never be nothing, you ain't worth nothing, hey, guess what? They're liars, right? So we've got a whole group of people that everybody had told that to. And it's not the truth. They're making changes here in this county. Already been an encouragement. Hey, we looking through the message today. Even the COs at the jail bragging on this girl, right? We used to, when we walk out, they say, we'll see you again, right? So, hey, what they're doing, they ain't seeing us again. They're going to see her right here. So we're going to get out of the way. We're going to let her speak. I don't know what she's going to say, but I know this. Nobody tuned in to hear me tonight. Everybody's tired of hearing me. I can talk all day, but I'm done. We're going to turn it over and let our sister share what's on her heart. And when she gets done, then I'll be back. I'll tell you I love you, and we'll move on. So here it is, Miss Natalie.
Hi, I'm Natalie. This is my husband Ian. He's kind of for support for tonight. When I was asked to give my testimony, I was really kind of honored, I guess, because I know a lot of people struggle every day, and it's, well, you can't do this, you'll never amount to it, you're not going to be able to do anything in your life, and I'm just here to tell you that that's not true. Yes, you can. My addiction started out my whole childhood. I had a great childhood, loving parents, a mean brother, but I love with all my heart. I had any kind of childhood a kid could ask for. I didn't just sit and think, okay, well, I'm going to grow up to be an addict or, a bad mom or anything like that. Like, I really had a good childhood. And then I guess what really got me started was when I had my second daughter. The doctor had prescribed me pain pills, and I really liked the way that they made me feel. I felt like I was super mom. I could do anything. It was easier for me to stay awake to help, with her. And at the time I was going to CNA school, and like, it was all a big mess, and it helped me cope with it. I started out using opiates, taking them like I was supposed to. And then as it got, older and it progressed, then I was going to different things, and opiates was still my drug of choice. I had got into a lot of trouble in '07 with my mom and my brother and my dad involved. And my brother told me that I had to do drug court or I was going to stay in jail. And I was like, okay, well, I'll bide my time. I'll do drug court, whatever. So I went in drug court in '07, April of '07, and I graduated in '09. And the day I graduated, I remember thinking, okay, well, I'm done. I can do what I want to do. So that same evening, I went and got high. And I don't know, I guess a part of me felt like I'd let myself down and just was like, whatever, okay, I've already done the hard part, so just might as well continue to do it. Well, then at that point, the Suboxone had come out real strong, and I was like, oh, well, I can do that and it'd be legal. So for about 11 years, I went to a doctor every month, and I got the Suboxone prescribed to me, and I thought, okay, well, it's going to be all right. Law can't do anything to me. It's legal, all this and that. And then whenever it got worse, I got to noticing that, I wasn't there for my kids. I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do as a wife. I wasn't all there mentally either. Like, I just wasn't there. And one thing led to another. And I was like, well, I can't do this and work all the time and be this parent and all this and that. So that's when I got started back. I had relapsed and I went really bad for a really long time. And then in 2017, at this point, I was staying in an abandoned home that had no electric, no water, no anything. And having my youngest daughter stay with me because I thought that was a good parent. And it went to the point that I didn't, at this point in her life, I was thinking, okay, well, I'm always there. I've always been there for both of them and blah, blah, blah. And the fact of the matter was, I really wasn't. In 2017, I had got put in jail. I was on the front page of the newspaper twice, and some of the charges were true, some of them weren't. But, in a small town, you see it on the newspaper and, oh, it's true. Well, I ended up getting a really good attorney that had helped me because, at that point I thought, okay, well, I'm ready to do this. I'm ready to get clean and stay clean. And they made me an offer to go to the Shepherd's Home in Jacksboro, a halfway house. And I thought, okay, well, that's what I'll do. And during this whole period of years, I'd never had anyone, really give me a word of encouragement outside of my family. And the director that was over the Shepherd's Home at that time, Angie Moser, she was real optimistic for me and was like, well, I believe in you. And that was the most that anybody had ever really said to me, far as encouragement. And I thought, okay, well, I'm going to really try this. I went through my Shepherd's Home, I'd graduated out of it, done what I was supposed to done. I came home and it was just like, the pink cloud effect was no more pink cloud. I had relapsed really bad. And during that time, I had lost my home, my family, my husband at the time. I had lost everything that I had that I thought in my head is what I needed. I'd always heard everybody work, your meetings and do all this. And I was just like, no, that's not for me. I've got everything I need. And when I relapsed that last year, it was really, really bad. I ended up moving back home with my mom and my dad, and they had tried to set boundaries and was like, well, if you're not home at a certain time, then you can sleep in your car. And me being the kid I was, at one point in their life, I was like, well, I'm going to push them to see what I can get. And there was many nights that, I didn't get home until really late and I would have to sleep in my car, and my daughter would flash on the porch light and be like, okay, Mom, I'm here, come in. Things that she shouldn't have had to have went through that she did. And it didn't even dawn on me then. Okay, well, that's not what a parent does. So I continued on the path that I was on and thought, okay, well, my life can't get any worse, so why not continue just doing what I was doing? And it got really bad after that really fast. And I went to jail like, I don't know how many times in that summer. It got real bad. To the point that my oldest daughter was even like, okay, Mom, you can't stay clean and out of jail, then you're not coming to my graduation. And that was like a big milestone in her life, was to see her graduate high school. I thought, okay, well, since I'm that big of a disappointment to everybody, then that justified why I done what I did. And I still continued to get high. I had my youngest daughter in places that she shouldn't have never been. And when it got to the point to where I got busted, that the very last time I went to jail was September the 2nd of 2019. And I remember that day very well because I remember telling myself, okay, well, you'll just do a little bit of time, you'll get out, blah, blah, blah. And never did I expect anyone to want to try to help me get clean and sober. So I was like, okay, I'll do my time. It is what it is. And the more I sat back there in that jail cell and thought, I talked to my family on the phone, and I never did get to see my daughter while I was in jail. My mom would never bring her, which I didn't blame my parents for that. She shouldn't have seen me like that anyway. Well, I ended up getting in front of a really good friend of mine that just so happens to be a cop in this county. And I told her that, I really wanted some help. And I had never asked for help in my life. If I wasn't made to do it, I didn't want it. Even when I was made to do it, it was like, okay, well, I'll do it and then it'll be done. I can do whatever I want to do. But this time I really meant what I said. And I think maybe she saw that. And she went in and spoke to the judge, and they came back out and was like, okay, well, we'll give you drug court, or we'll offer you drug court. But you have to go to a rehab first, stay in jail till you go to a rehab, and then you have to do 2 years in drug court. I thought, well, okay. My first thought wasn't, okay, well, I'll do this 2 years and I'll get out like it was before. It was, okay, well, here's the beginning to something I need to do. So I went to a 30-day program. And the drug court coordinator, poor Becky Harper, she did not want me to go into drug court at first because she knew how I was before. But she told me the day that she took me to rehab that she saw something in me that she hadn't saw before. I guess because, I quit blaming everybody for my own actions and was like, okay, well, yeah, it was me. I done this. I chose to do this, and now I'm choosing to do better. And ever since then, drug court has done nothing but go above and beyond to try to help me. And before, I would have told anybody, well, they're just setting you up for failure. Not now. Drug court has really helped me get my life on track. They believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. I have a job now that I've had for almost 3 months. I make good money. I passed my own drug screen to go get this job. That's the first time in a very long time that I've gotten to say that. I have relationships built back with my mom and my dad that I never had, even through all this process of, getting clean and relapsing. Like today, my mom called me on the phone and she was like, well, me and your dad are very proud of you. Hold your head up. And that really made me cry because, my mom has always been afraid to tell me that she's proud of me because she was afraid I would relapse. But for her to say that today really gave me a lot of encouragement to not be so nervous to come on here today. My daughters, I'm there for them now. Not just there, like I'm there here too. Before I was never there mentally. I was always either too worried about getting high or chasing the next drug or always something. But now, I'm there for them. If they need something, they know that they can depend on me. To have the relationships built back with people that I lost it from is like huge, and all throughout my years of trying to get clean, I've always heard, well, you'll never make it. You're not going to be able to stay clean. Like Randy said, well, I'd go to jail and it was, well, we'll see you soon. Some of them out there were. But a lot of them were encouraging, and I'll never forget that. But this time, I wanted it for myself. And, my family gets the bonus. My daughters gets the bonus of me being a good parent, a sober parent. And I met the love of my life as he was sitting here beside me. I'd never had anyone to really stand behind me, regardless through the good days, through the bad days. And I do now. So when somebody tells you that you can't do something, don't get it in your mind that you can't, because that's really a relapse in the making. Never think that you're less than what you're worth. I never believed in God until I went to the shepherd's home. I was so mad at him and angry with him because of what I'd done to myself. And now, it's completely different. Like, I know I'm sitting here because of God's grace. Like, I would not be sitting here without Him. And I know that, He may have put me in situations that I needed to be in, but He also was there with me regardless. He never left my side. When you're serious about recovery, I heard somebody once tell me at that rehab that I went to, that you're going to do whatever you have to do to get clean, just like you did when you were getting drugs. You done whatever you had to do to get high. Okay, to get clean, you're going to do whatever you have to do to get clean. It took me coming out of my comfort zone, asking for help that I never did before, realizing that, yes, I've made mistakes, but my mistakes don't define who I am. It took, just encouraging words from people that I never expected to hear encouraging words from, to actually be a part of it. And, I am 14 months clean as of today because, for one, God's grace, for two, the support I have, and for three, for the meetings and everything that I go to. I have bad days, and some days really get to me, but I would choose my sober days any day over getting high and dealing with stuff any day. And, I was really worried of people, I guess, looking down on me for what I've done in my past, but I'm not ashamed of what I've done, because of what I did is who I am today. I'm more compassionate today than I ever have been about people, and where other people are coming from. I don't look down on anybody because I remember how it felt to be that person. So just the best thing I can give advice to anybody is, don't ever think that you're not worthy enough for something great, because you are. Okay, Randy, I'm done.
You did good. Why are you putting him on me?
Where you at, Randy?
You're still alive, I don't know.
I just turned it.
Huh?
I
That's
just turned
good.
it.
Hey, man, how about Ian always trying to get in the camera? Hey, man, y'all, I was sitting here listening, watching her, and listening to the story. The main job is to let people know that there is hope. We do recover. And I'm a firm believer in the opposite of addiction is connection. And Natalie's connected this stuff today. We know trust is the hardest thing to gain, the easiest thing to lose. And as I was sitting back there reading through these comments and watching people, encouraging her and loving on her, and then I get to thinking that these tricks that we play in our head to keep our mouths shut, to tell us that we don't have nothing to talk about, that we don't have nothing to share and to help people. Listen, you got a degree in something else. I tell people I got a degree in messing up. That's what I do, but I try not to mess up the same ways anymore. Be going over a Sunday school Sunday morning at our church, be speaking about mercy, and the Bible tells us to get mercy, you got to give mercy. And listen, that's what we're here to do. Is we realize we ain't got it all figured out. We're not those people that think we've got it all figured out, that we're running perfect. No, we're not those folks. Listen, we know we're still trying. We're still trying to figure stuff out. But what we're going to do is we're going to grab people and help them on the way out. That's what we're going to do. We ain't going to leave nobody behind. Nobody's got to do it exactly our way. Natalie didn't do it exactly Randy's way. Ian didn't do it Randy's way. But here's what we've done. We found our common goals and our common connections and encouraged each other in that. How simple is it? Let's quit looking for things to argue and fight with people over. Let's look for stuff to encourage, uplift, and exhort one another. Find somebody that's having it worse than you and encourage them. How simple? How simple is it? So, hey, we thank everyone for tuning in. Hey, next week, we're going to go to the other side. We're going to have a family coming on. I ain't going to tell you who they are. But we're going to have a family coming on and telling their side. And, hey, we hope y'all tune in. We're going to love on our brother and sister here for a little bit. And we're going to try to get home. I ain't ate all day, so I'm starving. So I love every one of you, and we'll see you next week, 6 o'clock. Thank you. It ain't off yet.